Day 3 of this project. Came in yesterday. The shower passed the flood test, so I scraped up all the spray foam, dried everything off, laid out the floor, and this is all pre-cut, ready to go. I have all these cut around here too, up to about here. A few more cuts over there. So I'm going to pull these up, label them, and then start setting them. So there we go. Okay guys, welcome back. Here we are on another project. So today I'm going to be installing a 24-inch by 48-inch porcelain tile on this bathroom floor here that has a curbless shower. Now this tile was actually pretty thin tile. It would be like the same thickness of a super format tile, like the tiles that come in 5 foot by 10 foot and all different sizes, but they get up to that size. So they're pretty thin. I was still able to cut them with my snap cutter and grinder without too much of an issue, but they were pretty damn strong for them being only like a 1/4 inch or so thick. But anytime working with this tile, it's always a good idea to have suction cups. I have the pump style ones here, as you can see me using, and they have lines on there which are red. So if you pump these up and you see the red line, the suction isn't good enough. So it lets you know right there and then. There's many different on the market nowadays. You got the electronic ones. I haven't invested in one of those yet. I just haven't had enough need for it. These usually get the job done every time. So, what I did on this project is I actually dry fit the entire floor, like the entire whole bathroom floor there, with these 24 by 48s. With all my spacers in, excuse me, cut everything, and then basically pulled it back, marked some lines so I stay in the same position I was before, and labeled them so that way I could just mix my mortar and basically put down the whole floor here. And I think I put down this whole floor in once I had a dry cut, I think I set it like in one day, like a 5 or 6 hour day. But it took a whole day before this just to dry fit the whole thing and set it, working by myself. But excuse me, I'm just getting over this cold now. I'm trying anyway. But what I'm using here is Sluter All Set. The client was really wanted to get the full warranty on this job, so we use full Sluter system warranty. I'm not a fan of it, but that's what he wanted, so I gave him what he wanted. But what I'm using here to set this tile was a superior notch trowel. It's kind of like a V notch, and what it does is it really allows for good coverage on these large format tiles. It's equivalent of like a 1/2 inch. But if you measure one of the depths on the teeth here, it's actually it actually goes up to about 5/8, believe it or not, deep. But what I'm doing here, I'm notching the floor with a 1/2 inch, and I believe I notched the back with like a 1/4 inch. I'm not exactly sure. I remember now. I did this job in the early winter of 2025, and I'm recording this in early summer of 2025. But basically by doing that, you're allowing like a zipper effect, you can say, and you're going to get really good coverage by just dropping it in and moving around the tile a little bit to collapse everything. It's going to get really good coverage. So anytime you're doing large format tile, any tile, but it's more critical when you're doing a large tile like this, that you get really good coverage, because anything that's unsupported will fail sooner or later. So what I did with this floor too, it's not just a blow and go situation. That's not how I work. I actually self-leveled this entire floor, and I got it almost perfectly flat within like a 1/16 or so. But then we have the the heat membrane and the curdy, so that adds some buildup here and there, but wasn't too bad. So basically this floor was near perfect. So when I went to set this tile, I wasn't lifting them left and right. There was some I had to lift here and there, but overall the floor was damn near perfectly flat. So I'm gonna go through the whole video here doing the install. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and stay tuned here for some more of this one. Okay, now once I get this whole row set, basically before I lock everything down or make my adjustments, I always like to take a straight edge. And this one, believe it or not, it's a 10-foot straight edge, so it's a pretty long floor in that section there going that direction. Making sure everything is nice and tight to the straight edge, because you could have a perfectly done line, chalk line, you know, marker line, whatever you're using there, and the tile could be slightly off, and as you start stacking off that first row, the joints can get a little bit inconsistent. So by using a straight edge, you know that, you know, a metal straight edge that's good and true is not going to lie. The tile is going to lie. No tile is perfect, but by using the straight edge, I know that this first row is going to be dead nuts straight. So this really helps ensure a really properly done, good quality install. So one step that I take that I would assume, well, not assume, I would know 90% or more of guys don't do this. So one extra step I do here. Okay, so what you see me doing here now is this situation is a little bit different than your typical. We use a Swooter, basically glass profile for where the tile ends, where you see me cleaning up here. I'm using wedges to make sure the tile doesn't, sag overnight here. And I'm making sure the thin set is cleaned up so I can slide this profile. And like once this profile comes in, I repack this edge really well with thin set, and then I put the profile under to make sure it's completely supported. So that's how I did this install. I basically laid it out, marked the line, and then I came in, a later date and put that profile in, making sure it's packed really well with mortar. Something else I'll mention here is that when using these clip systems, they help reduce or eliminate lips, but it's not a perfect science, you can say. So as I'm going along here, I like to take a wedge and go around and slide it back and forth and ensure that there's no lips, because you go lock these down and there still could be a little bit of a lip. So after I set every tile, I take one of those wedges, I go around every edge, making sure I have no lips, and I adjust the clips as necessary, then keep the joints clean. It's hard to keep them perfectly clean when you got the clips in there, but keep them as clean as you can, because you'll be thanking yourself the next day when you have to take these out, believe me. Now that I got most of the floor set, I gotta work my way out of here. So I did this the same day. If you come the next day, you can have, nail on the tile that are there. But I just had all these pre-cuts. I worked myself out from that corner out to the doorway here. Okay, so if you're still with me at this point, I appreciate you tuning in and watching the video completely through. So again, I got this whole section set. I'm just going through making sure everything is clean and is flat and making my adjustments where necessary or on this bathroom floor. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for future videos, and if you have anything in specific that you want to see or any suggestions of videos, hit the comment section, let me know. Alrighty? See you on the next one.